Mashable et britisk-amerikansk nettsted som tar for seg nyheter, og de har også blogginnlegg. Ingrid Stenvold, du har akkurat hatt en sesjon om dette Mashable. Hvordan synes du det gikk?
Det gikk kjempebra, ikke minst takket være mitt intervjuobjekt, Global News Editor, Louise.
For du ikke helt sikker på hvordan etternavnet
Nei, jeg
uttales?
stoppet nå ved fornavnet, fordi at da jeg skulle introdusere deg, så kom jeg på at jeg hadde glemt å spørre hvordan uttaler du egentlig? Fordi at de som har sagt, de sier sånn Louise Roug, fordi det sier dem in the States, and you want to do this in English. But I think I said Louise Roug.
Yeah, no, I mean, Roug is the way to pronounce it.
Roug?
Yeah.
Roug?
Yeah.
Roug.
All right.
It's not a Danish name?
Well, it's actually not my real name, but that's a very long other story. My real name is Bockenheuser, but we'll forget about that.
Okay.
All right.
So,
Yes.
Louise she was brilliant on stage. She I think she came across to the audience with her expertise in the ways the digital media works.
And Ingrid, hva egentlig Mashable?
Ja, Mashable det er jo fint at du spør meg om det, for nå har jeg jo lært ganske mye. Det er et teknologiselskap og et nyhetssted. Det var et nettsted, men det er veldig gammeldags å snakke om det på den måten nå, fordi at de når sitt publikum primært gjennom sosiale medier. 80%.
The vast majority of our audience comes through social media. They come, of course, through Facebook. Facebook is the main traffic driver. Twitter also, we have 22 million followers on all the social platforms. We have 42 million readers or audiences across the globe. And it's really interesting because I think for Mashable we have a truly global audience. Half the audience is in the US and half the audience is overseas. And we are expanding now. We've opened last year in the UK and in Australia. Now we're opening, we have a partnership in India. We're going to open in Singapore, really expanding globally. And that's a great thing that we can do it we're an English speaking site, so we can expand globally and keep doing that.
Og for dere som da ikke vet hva Mashable så har jeg lest meg opp nå de siste par minuttene på hva det Jeg har skjønt at de har helt sjukt mye følgere på Twitter og sosiale medier og greier. Millions! And what's the recipe behind that?
I think we have to find the audiences where they are and speak to them in a way that they think is engaging. So I talk about 3 ways in which you can be competitive or you can do the news. There's you can be the fastest, and we're very fast. You can have scoops, you can have the most scoops. We try and have that, but we also have what we call thought scoops, or what I call thought scoops. It's really the way that you think about the story. You tell the story, you tell it on all the different platforms, you tell it on Snapchat, you tell it on Instagram, Vines, in all ways, video, and I think that's a great, we're very nimble and we're very good at trying to do that.
Ingrids Dagsrevyen, how many followers do you have on Facebook?
Godt spørsmål. Du får slå opp og se. Vi jo, jeg sa det innledningsvis nede på sesjonen, at det er jo skjebnens ironi at jeg havnet på den scenen, fordi at nyheter på lineært fjernsyn liksom, det dinosauren i rommet. Det liksom ikke det vi driver lenger, det ikke der folk oppsøker nyhetene lenger, så det jo noe vi må jobbe kjempemye med og omstille, og det jo det som også interessant med Mashable i forhold til tradisjonelle medier. Alt kommer så naturlig, fordi de født digitale, de har aldri vært en papiravis eller en TV-kanal eller en radiokanal. De en digital organisme som lever i og med forandringen som skjer digitalt.
So what can Ingrid do with her Dagsrevyen? How can the news be really popular on social media?
Well, Ingrid is obviously fantastic already, but so I think you have to be very creative, and I think that goes for everybody. If you're a legacy media brand, you have to be creative. You have to always think, okay, how can we innovate? How can we tell this story in a new and exciting way? You can't expect people to come to you just because you have a name, you have a brand, because people used to come here. You have to every day think about what is the best, most engaging way to tell the story. Sometimes they're complicated stories, sometimes they're, tragedies or big world events, but you have to tell them in a very engaging, creative way. And you have to be nimble. You have to be really agile. Quickly. If people are migrating over somewhere else, if they're doing Snapchat, if they're on Periscope, you have to start experimenting with that. And then you have to be not afraid to fail. Just keep experimenting. Just go go into the wilderness and be unafraid. I think that's really the key.
And as a Norwegian reporter, I have to ask you this. Sorry. What do you think about Norway?
Oh, I knew I was going to get this question, but luckily I love Norway. So I'm from Denmark, but I'm kind of like a little bit envious. You have fjellene, Fjellenmin, and like I was up yesterday on Fløibanen, and it was beautiful to see Bergen from fjellet. It was kjempefint.
If you were a man, you'd have to answer the question, what do you think about the Norwegian girls? So what do you think about Martin, the Norwegian?
What do you think about the Norwegian beard trend?
It's a trend also in New York. You would fit in Brooklyn.
Yeah?
You look like a hipster. Yeah? A Brooklyn hipster.
Is it a good trend?
Yeah, it's a good trend.
Yeah?
Yeah, maybe.
Det hun sier, for dere som ikke skjønner det, er at hun syns både Norge er et strålende land, mye bedre enn Danmark, og at skjeggtrenden er helt midt i blinken. Det funker på sosiale medier. And what do you think about Ingrid as an interviewer?
I think she's amazing.
Really?
She shepherded us through 40 minutes on the stage, and it was and it went good. I felt like in good company. I felt very in good hands, safe hands.
You don't think she's too strict?
She's a little bit strict, but it's okay. I like it.
But, som jeg sa, jeg tar det på norsk, siden du forstår det. At som representant for gammeldags media, legacy media, så må man hele tiden stille de spørsmålene. Ja, men, når alt skal gå så fort, og når det blir så fragmentarisk, det føles veldig fragmentarisk, hva skjer med journalistikken? Det er liksom det alle sitter og tenker. Det har jo Louise gode svar på, og så selvfølgelig så finnes det kanskje ikke noe fasitsvar, og at man må selvfølgelig jobbe hele tiden, men det er klart, alt sitter litt sånn fast inni hodet, det vi må jobbe med, vi som er tradisjonelle. Vi tenker for tradisjonelt. Vi henger jo litt etter. It will take some time to catch up with you, and then you've already moved on.
Yeah, but I think like traditions are great. I mean, and they're wonderful, and they give a lot of value in journalism. But I also think like change and innovation just really key. And the question is like, how do you take the best of the traditions and innovate, I think that really is like, you have to innovate or you die,
So, what are your plans for the next couple of days here in Bergen?
Oh, I'm excited. I'm going on a boat trip.
Hey!
So that's very exciting.
Oy.
I've heard that's going to be great. I'm going to see the great restaurants. I went to a very good restaurant last night, and I'm going to go to some more restaurants and some good bars, I hope, as well.
Yeah?
Yeah, some parties. I'm hoping for dancing.
Dancing?
Yes.
Perfect.
I want to see if the Norwegians can dance as well as the Danes. It's a challenge.
What do you think?
I don't know, I haven't seen yet.
No?
So maybe later you can show me on the dance
I
floor.
will show you.
Okay.
The Norwegian traditional dance.
Sounds good.
Thank you so much for coming, both of you.
Okay.
I think this interview went very good.
Yeah.
Very good, Martin.
Okay?
Thank you.
Vi er straks tilbake med mer.
Okay.